Magandang umaga, Malacanang Press Corps at sa ating po mga guests. Nandito na si Presidential Spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, Salvador Panelo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I'm not supposed to be here. I canceled my joining the president because I'm supposed to be sick. My voice shows it. I got clogged nose, sore throat, I have slight fever. But obviously, I miss you dearly, so I'm here. And we have guests. So, nasa may listahan ng mga guests natin?
Second week pa lang, nagkakasakit ka na.
Na-expose. Sa mga listahan. We have guests from DNR. Who else? Let me see. Wala rito Wala mga listahan.
Sir, we have DNR Assistant DNR Undersecretary Jonas Leones, DILG Assistant Secretary Jonathan Malaya, DOTR Assistant Secretary Mark De Leon, and TIEZA Assistant COO Nestor Di Malanta ng Boracay.
Boracay. So you can ask your questions directed to any one of them.
Sir,
Let's start.
Request lang po ng MPC. Can we have parang yung question muna po addressed to the spokesperson? Question, MPC?
Oh, by the way, later on the president might come in, so we'll have to cut the press con. Baka pumasok
No, the event of the president sa Sagay. In case pumasok, we have, Raymond Tinasa. Microphone, please.
Shoot.
Good noon, Sec Panelo, sir. Sir, what's the palace view and position with regards to the Makati RTC Branch 148 ruling to the petition of the DOJ for warrant of arrest against Senator Trillanes, because the camp of the senator is claiming victory due to the said ruling by the court?
Well, it's more of a victory because if you notice, the court decided that the proclamation issued by the president is valid. They were claiming at the time that the president does not have the power to void any amnesty. And the court said he has. Now, the court is saying that it cannot issue the warrant of arrest because of the principle of immutability of judgment. But I'm wondering why, because effectively that would mean it has no jurisdiction over the case. But then again, the court took jurisdiction, and in fact, the parties submitted their respective positions and evidence. Because if it has no jurisdiction, then the court should have dismissed outright the motion filed by the court and say that it has no jurisdiction. Now, I have gone over the decision. There are procedural matters decided by the court which, to my mind, are erroneous. How it accepted evidence despite the fact that they were all secondary evidence. So there are questions that can be properly raised in the Court of Appeals and subsequently to the Supreme Court. What is important to my mind right now is that our theory from the very start is that the president can void an amnesty granted to anyone. And that was upheld by the court. I've talked with Solgen, and he said he will not file a motion for reconsideration, but go immediately to the Court of Appeals and appeal the ruling of the court with respect to the issuance or non-issuance of the warrant of arrest.
Follow up?
Yes. So you are still confident that you will be seeing a detained Trillanes in the future?
Well, as we said earlier, This administration will always observe the rule of law. Any violation of any law, it is mandated to prosecute. We saw that there has been a violation of the grant of amnesty, and that is precisely why a proclamation was issued to declare its nullity.
Okay.
So until such time that the Supreme Court said we're wrong, we will consistently make our stand that we are right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, basahin ko lang question from Pia Ranyada. Judge Andres Soriano concluded in his decision that Senator Antonio Trillanes IV indeed applied for amnesty and admitted guilt. This formed the very basis of proclamation number 572. Does the palace still assert that Trillanes did not file for amnesty? If so, on what basis?
Precisely, I was telling you earlier that the court made that conclusion on the basis of secondary evidence, which should have not been given due course. He said the issue was only to the existence and due execution of the document. I disagree, because the very issue is not only the due execution of the document, but the very contents itself. Did he really apply as provided by law? Did he really admit guilt? Did the document shows on its face, as well as the required narrative? Those are questions that should have been addressed by the court. But it said that it's irrelevant because the only issue is the due execution and existence of the document. Excuse me, I'm sorry. How would you know if he really applied? If you don't see the document itself and see for yourselves if those forms was filled up to the letter and the required narrative of his participation was included therein. He admitted the testimony of one witness who certified that he issued a certification to the effect that he was granted amnesty, and yet during the hearing he said that he made the certification only on the basis of a memorandum he read that there was such one. In other words, this is hearsay. He has no personal knowledge. But the court admitted that. And to my mind, it is wrong.
Okay, follow up. Celerina.
Good afternoon, sir. How did the President react with that decision of the court?
We have the same reaction, that what is important is the proclamation was declared to be valid, that it was not in violation of the Constitution, that it's purely an executive act, that it does not violate the equal protection of the law clause of the Constitution, that it is not a bill of attainder, that it does not encroach on the function of a co-equal branch of government, that it does not require the concurrence of Congress. Those were more important issues and questions addressed by the court.
So more or less, what will be the basis of this appeal that the Solgen will be filing with the Court of Appeals?
With respect to the conclusion that it cannot issue a warrant of arrest. And also the fact that he admitted secondary evidence and not primary evidence.
Okay, other issue. Follow up, Joseph. Microphone, please. Microphone.
I love you.
Sir, in other words, you're saying...
Naawa lang ako sa iyo eh.
Sir, in other words, you're saying, yung position nyo from the very start, where is the document? Yun, no? And the court has not seen that, 148 has not seen that, so therefore, there's no application. That's your point, no?
Yes.
Okay, so how soon will you go file at the CA, sir?
Very soon, because they're preparing already the petition in the Court of Appeals.
Sir,
We filed in the Court of Appeals.
Sir, louder, please, sorry.
The Solgen is already preparing the petition to be filed.
Okay, so right now we have two different interpretations, appreciation of evidence, 148 and 150. How do we resolve this, sir?
The court, the higher courts will have to resolve it, that.
CA, you mean, no? CA,
CA, and then
first
eventually
then-
the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Other issue? No more? Okay. Sige, Miss Lanesca.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Last na lang dun sa Trillanes case. What makes this appeal worth it, considering that the amnesty has also been granted to other mutineers and other soldiers in the past, kahit yung mga nagkudeta during the presidency of Corazon Aquino? What makes this case of Senator Trillanes worth it of an appeal? Kasi, sir, it appears that the administration is prepared to go all the way to the Supreme Court to get a favorable ruling.
You must remember that out of all the amnesty applicants, only Trillanes' grant of amnesty was questioned from the very start. 2 years ago, you were the ones who raised that issue to me. And I said, since there are questions being raised, let us evaluate if it's indeed there was a erroneous grant of amnesty. And that was what happened. And even the court said the proclamation refers only to Trillanes. And since we said from the very start that this administration will prosecute anyone and correct any violation of law, that is why we're pursuing this to the end.
Okay, last question na tayo sa Trillanes.
So regarding the pag-convene ng military tribunal, will there be any plan for that after this decision of the RTC?
From what I gather, even prior to the issuance of the decision of the court, the military said it was going to reconvene the court-martial.
It will reconvene.
Yes.
How soon?
Then you'll have to address that to the persons concerned.
Is that the directive of the president being the commander-in-chief?
No. As we said repeatedly, the president will allow all offices and branches to do their thing. So he will leave them to their best.
So most likely, pag nireconvene na tong military tribunal, Senator Trillanes will be detained in Aguinaldo. Tama po ba?
We'll be speculating. We don't even know if they're going to reconvene or not until such time.
You just mentioned that.
No, they said that was their intention. Whether they're going to do it or not remains to be seen.
Okay, thank you, Celerina. Other issue, Joyce Balancio.
Sir, on other topics, is Malacanang supporting the call of labor groups to increase the minimum wage in Metro Manila? Increase na daw po ng 334. The ALO-TUCP cites in their petition the rising inflation rate. What's the Malacanang stand on
You know,
this?
there are wage boards, and these wage boards will determine after accepting evidence on both sides whether or not there is a need for an increase. So the palace will respect whatever the decision of the wage board is.
Okay, may question? Other issue? Okay, Royces?
Hi, sir. Any directive from the President po dun sa nangyari sa Sagay City, yung pagka-massacre po dun sa siyam na magsasaka or sugarcane farmers? Meron po bang utos ang Pangulo?
Yes, the directive is to investigate it. That's why precisely he's going there to see the situation and to condole with the families of the victims.
Sir, apparently, hindi yata ito yung first time na naharas or nagkaroon ng ganitong incident sa mga magsasaka na humihingi ng lupa under the CARP law. And apparently, yung Hacienda Nene is not part of the CARP. Hindi daw po siya sakop. Ano po siguro, yung tanong po kasi is ano daw po yung maitutulong ng government? Because apparently, according to the DAR, marami pa pong mga lupa na available na pwedeng ibigay. But then, marami pa pong mga kababae, mga magsasaka na wala pa rin nakukuhang lupa until now. Meron po bang siguro gagawin ng palasyo para mapabilis man lang yung proseso ng pagbibigay po ng lupa dun sa mga magsasaka?
Last night, he mentioned to me when we were talking in Davao that he will implement fully the agrarian reform, even if it includes properties of the government. That is what he said to me. Most likely, he may make an announcement later.
Okay. Mamaya daw may i-announce si Presidente later. Okay, no more questions? Okay. Another issue.
Sir, just your reaction. Sabi po ng ICC, patuloy pa rin po yung preliminary examination nito sa Duterte administration's drug war, kahit po nag-withdraw na ang Pilipinas sa ICC.
Again, we will repeat what we said. First, we did not withdraw. That so-called withdrawal was a mere notice to the ICC that we have not become a member of that organization at the very inception, because the Rome Statute was never enforced as a law in this country. It has no jurisdiction over us. And even their position now, the preliminary examination, even assuming that we are bound by the Rome Statute, even assuming that the ICC has jurisdiction, their stance that preliminary examination will proceed despite assuming that there is a withdrawal is wrong, because the very Rome Statute says it will resume preliminary investigation, not preliminary examination. In other words, ICC is violating its own rules and provisions.
Okay, thank you, Royces. MPC, friendly reminder, may guest pa tayo. So, limit your questions, follow-up questions. Lenesca then to be followed by Ralph.
Para mabilis na lang, sir. Dalawahin ko na. Sir, can you confirm lang yung mga new nominees for national artist? Kasi may mga lumabas na initial names. Can you confirm if these are
What
the
I know
individuals?
what I know is that there were names submitted. I do not know exactly who the names are.
Sir, yung submitted ba yung name ni Miss Nora Honor po?
I don't know about Miss Nora. Alam ko lang maraming names doon.
Okay, thank you, Lenes.
Sir, ito, last from my end. Sir, Facebook shut down some pages po supportive of the president because of spam content and violations of other regulations po ng Facebook on authenticity. So, do you think this reflects on the kind of supporters that the president have?
Not necessarily. Facebook must have its own rules and regulations. If they're implementing that, then that's their own rule. Now, if the concern is there will be no more avenues, there are so many avenues. We have Twitters, Instagrams, and many others where the advocates can express themselves in support of this administration.
Okay, thank you. Last question for spokes. Ralph.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Facebook, you know that I exposed to you a scam on my Facebook account? 2 days ago, again, there is a mayor from Cagayan who was complaining that another one was communicating with this mayor, and as if I was the one communicating with him, that he was included in the drug list, and so therefore he has to give some money so that his name would be removed. And yesterday, it was the exchange was relayed to me, and it says, I'm opening an account, and the name is Kim Arrogante in Cebu Branch BDO, and please deposit the 100,000. But at least this time, because the last two victims didn't have the common sense to call me, this time this mayor said he doubted it because in the first place, he said, I don't think Tanelo will be speaking in Filipino in communicating with the mayor. Second, he said, that's not his style. So I did not deposit. But just the same, I called the NBI director and gave him the facts. And so they're on it now.
Okay.
So let me forewarn again the public. Please, all your friends who have Facebook accounts, before you even consider communicating with anybody who pretends to be that Facebook owner, you call them,
Last.
call us.
Ralph?
Sir, will the Pala support Speaker Arroyo's proposal to pull the Philippines out of the Interparliamentary Union po?
Well, from the very start, our position is no international human rights organization has jurisdiction over us. They've been giving conclusions even prior to the investigations, and they've been besmirching this country. So that is precisely why we do not want them to be doing that. And I support the call of Speaker Arroyo. You know, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, they came here and investigated De Lima, and I think Senator Trillanes. And then they made a finding that it seems to them that there was a violation of human rights, that no due process was given to them. And yet, in effect, they're saying that our judicial system is not functioning. In effect, they're saying that the court that has acquired jurisdiction over De Lima was wrong in determining probable cause. And there's an ongoing trial, and then they're saying already that, no, they were not given fair trial. They've been giving prejudgments. And to our mind, that's an intrusion, an insult, offensive to the decency of this country, as well as an intrusion to our sovereignty.
Sir, this is the Palace stance po, no? Hindi po personal stance.
No, that's the Palestine.
Thank you, sir.
Ever since that's the stand of the president, we've been hearing him making speeches in the same tone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, MPC. Sir, punta na tayo sa mga guests natin.
Yes. So we have here our guests. You can address your questions to them.
Asek, you have any statement, or Yusek, about the opening of Boracay?
Secretary Sal, members of the interagency, members of the press, a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. My only statement is that the interagency is already ready to open Boracay by Friday, October 26. Some safeguards have already put in place, and in terms of addressing major environmental problems in Boracay, we are optimistic and confident that these issues were already resolved by the interagency, although we can say that we're not yet 100% complete, but we're going to that direction. And at least we can say that at least we are now 80% restoring the pristine beauty and original situation of Boracay Island.
Asek Malaya. Okay. Sir?
Good afternoon po, Secretary, and good afternoon, everyone. CHESA, the project of CHESA in Boracay is the expansion of the drainage system, part 2, phase 2, and we are on schedule as of today, and we will finish the project by the end of 2019.
Okay. Asek.
Let me just say that the DILG is pleased to be working very closely with the other members of the Boracay Interagency Task Force, and we conducted an inspection last week during the dry run, and we're happy with the progress that has been done in Boracay. Of course, there's a lot that remains to be done, but given the time that was given to us by the President, I think a lot of improvement has been done, and the Filipino people will see that when the island opens to the rest, to everybody else this coming October 26. Now, in relation to this, we're not only looking at Boracay, we're also looking at other beach destinations in the country. The Secretary, Eduardo Año, issued a memorandum circular for all of our field officials across the country to monitor the compliance of all island resorts and beach tourism destinations with environmental laws, ordinances, and other pertinent laws. Meaning, there has been a lot of reports already that other parts of the country, in particular beach destinations, are also having problems with compliance with local laws and environmental laws. So we directed our field personnel to take a look at the provincial, city, and municipal ordinances relative to environmental conservation, building, construction, and easement regulation. Also, the status of sewage treatment facilities, the status of power and water supply service capacity, and the status of the zoning ordinance and comprehensive land use plan. Meaning, we're not, of course, we're focused on Boracay, but we'll also like to take a look at the other places in the country. And this we would like to do in cooperation also with the other government agencies. Thank you.
Okay, Aseka De Leon?
Yes. Good noon, everyone. Unknown to many, while DNR, DILG, and DPWH is rehabilitating the island, DOTR, in cooperation with LTFRB, will be improving the transportation system of Boracay. And we have a very short audio video of this project. Everyone? Okay.
Welcome to Boracay, an island straight out of paradise. But with thousands of people flying in, narrow and congested streets, and too many vehicles. It's hard to get in, out, and around. But does it always have to be this way? Of course not. DOTR LTFRB, in cooperation with the Boracay Interagency Task Force and with the support of GRAB, HIRNA, and Southwest, will be introducing the new Boracay Integrated Transport System, the future for Boracay transport. First, we have the Boracay Hop-On, Hop-Off Jeep, a concept of DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade that got a resounding approval from Boracay stakeholders. This is an easy and environmentally friendly way to get around Boracay for tourists and locals alike. The system provides daily and weekly passes to tourists and discounted passes to locals and concessionaires. Now, you can arrive in the island and get to any point in Boracay via our many planned stops around the island's circumferential road. For more offbeat destinations, or if you're in a rush, you can flag down or book any of the new e-trikes in the island that are managed by HIRNA. Paying for your rides is easy. Just get a wearable wristband upon arrival or tap card and you're ready to go. This can be loaded as e-wallet and use it to buy food and drinks in the island. No need to bring cash, making it absolutely perfect for swimming. Wait comfortably and learn more about the island in our Boracay-themed sheds and stands. The DOTR will also build at least 20 waiting sheds that have a public transport information system saying what time will you arrive. Get to your destinations faster and save time for the more important things in life, while helping locals earn more, reduce pollution, and decongest traffic in the island. Together, a more sustainable and environmentally friendly transportation will be a reality.
Sec, that's the presentation of DOTR and LTFRB. So basically, we're solving the problem of those who are familiar with Boracay. Common knowledge is the overcharging of fares of the tricycle drivers. Some tourists complain charging of 100 to 150 pesos per ride sa mga tricycles. And with this new system, no, we will be using an app where all of the passengers will be able to pay their rides through this wristband or tap card system. So you'll just pay one daily pass or a weekly pass. No? You'll just pay an amount. You can ride all you can. So you don't need to bring in your cash or you don't need to haggle your fare to the drivers. Just tap the card or the wristband. And it will solve a lot of problems. It will solve congestion. It's very popular that these tricycle drivers just stand around the corners of the road, diba, waiting for passengers. And they actually promote yung congestion in the already congested roads of Boracay. So by doing this system, no, we're providing efficiency, we're providing reliability, we're providing convenience to the passengers. So that's the transportation hop-on, hop-off system of DOTR LTFRB.
Okay, MPC questions. Henry.
Good afternoon from the DNR. Kumusta na ho yung plano ng Pangulong Duterte na ipamigay sa mahihirap yung mga lupain sa Boracay?
Salamat sa katanungan. Sa ngayon po, ang status po ng pag-distribute ng land, the DNR and the DAR has been closely coordinating with each other. In fact, based on our records, the DNR has already transferred the approximately 8 hectares of land to the DAR for distribution. But based on my updates this morning with the DAR, they are now preparing parang tenurial instruments doon, parang CLOA, Certificate of Land Ownership Agreement. But they're still evaluating the status of the land. Kasi they inventoried the IPs, the indigenous peoples there. May mga 31 na pamilya kasi yung bibigyan doon. So they're still discussing within the DAR how to undertake yung distribution. Sa ngayon, the DAR has not given us updates, but the land is already available for distribution. It's just a matter of determining how the process will be undertaken.
Para po sa mga umaasa, kailan po ito maipamimigay sa kanila?
Siguro within the week, the DAR will be giving updates kasi ang instruction po ng ating Pangulo ay madaliin na. In fact, there is a presidential directive received by our office directing us to facilitate and yung distribution ng land. So siguro pinag-uusapan lang para hindi naman magkagulo din. Within the week, there will be developments.
Pwede na po ba namin ibalita na bago magpasko ay may pamamahagi ng mga lupain ito?
Palagay ko naman masyado nang matagal yung Pasko because during the last cabinet meeting daw, we received a directive that they need to report regular updates to the OP regarding the distribution of these lands.
One question for DOTR. Napansin ho namin, nakatie up niyo yung Grab doon po sa inyong project sa Boracay. Ano pong eksaktong partisipasyon ng Grab?
They will be provided the franchise to operate the jeepneys that will operate in Boracay.
Sakali pong may lumutang na issues against sa inyo na baka may conflict of interest dito sapagkat may mga usaping kinakaharap ang Grab, I understand, sa inyo pong tanggapan, paano po ninyo ito sasagutin?
It will be treated separately. Yung conflict of interest, hiwalay yan sa pag-ooperate nila nitong jeepney system in Boracay.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, si Joseph Morong muna. Joseph, no more. Okay. Joyce, still on Boracay?
Still on Boracay. Sir, regarding dun sa bagong jeep po, paano siya makakatulong dun sa yung paglilimit natin ng capacity nung isla? And another question, ito na po ba yung talaga magiging transportation doon? Lahat ng tricycles bawal na sa island?
Actually, the transport systems is a combination of a fixed route jeepney, no? Fixed route jeepney routes. it will be a total of 50 jeepneys which will operate in Boracay. Then around 500 e-trikes to provide point-to-point service. So it will be a combination. It will be an integrated system wherein yung tap card mo na ginagamit sa jeepney can also be used dun sa e-trike. What it will do is yung mga tao, instead of riding, they're currently riding now yung mga habal-habal. So instead of hailing yung mga habal-habal, which are very irregular or sabihin na natin illegal, they will just use this organized system. Franchise ito, may franchise and fixed fare. Sinasabi ko nga, you just need to pay an amount, a daily amount or a weekly pass, wherein you can ride all you can. Kung daily pass, ibang kulay lang yung wristband. Kapag weekly pass, you just pay an extra amount. And what's beautiful about this project is it will have discounts and to senior citizens, even free to PWDs and mga children below 12 years old, free yung ride. And the proponent, in coordination with Secretary Tugade, has promised free rides starting now up to December. So now up to December, we will have 4 units of e-jeeps. They will be bringing in another 4 more by December. So these jeepneys will provide free ride for the island.
Going back to yung first part ng question ko, so how will this help, sir, yung inyong monitoring ng capacity ng island? Kasi di ba, syempre, kailangan silang magsuot ng something pag-enter nila ng island, although most probably, sir, kapag nag-open yung island, baka may mga mag-attempt na pumasok dun sa island kahit beyond the capacity na. So, paano makakatulong tong transportation system natin to avoid that?
That monitoring system will be handled by yung interagency, but not specifically dun sa transport system. But probably they will be using this system to ride onto that monitoring system. Kasi kapag may day pass ka, you can only use that day pass for that day lang.
Okay, last 4 questions. Rose, Raymond, and Celerina, and Joseph.
Ay, sir, good afternoon. Bakit po hindi na lang gobyerno yung nag-operate nung jeepney transportation doon? Ba't kailangan pa pong ipagawa ito sa Grab? At hindi po ba pwede magtayo ng halimbawang transport cooperative para po dun sa mga residente para magkaroon naman po sila ng hanap buhay? Sa halip po na Grab na isang malaking kumpanya na.
Actually, ma'am, the companies that will operate this system is already in coordination with the co-op, the existing co-op, Boracay Land Transport Multipurpose Cooperative. So it will be a joint venture by the co-op and this fleet management service company. So to answer your question, there will be partnerships with the co-op, and in fact, some of the ATIs, at least 10 units of the tricycles will be provided to the ATIs to provide some means of additional livelihood to them.
Pero may mga kasunod pa po yun, maliban po dun sa 10 binanggit nyo.
Depending on the results, the final passenger demand analysis, no? As we know na meron na tayong carrying capacity study. So depende yan sa magiging ridership analysis natin, we might need additional units. So it will be a continuing study.
Thank you.
Okay, Raymond.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Siguro anybody from the task force. Sir, practical advice lang. Halimbawa, turista ako or anyone. Ano yung una kong gagawin? Dahil nga sa limitasyon ng capacity ng turista sa Boracay, ano una kong gagawin? Magpabook sa hotel, accredited, or magpabook sa airline? Kasi baka nag-book ako doon, pero pagdating ko doon, hindi naman ako makasakay. Magkaroon ng problema, tapos pagdating ko naman, wala na pala akong hotel. So,
Salamat sa tanong. As of now, the DOT has released a list of compliant hotels. As of last submission, there are already 115 hotels, compliant hotels, approximately about 5,000 rooms. So, ang suggestion namin dyan, before they, which is also the suggestion of the DOT. So, the suggestion there is that before booking sa airlines, maganda magpabook muna dun sa compliant hotels. Kasi pwede rin naman na airlines muna, kaya lang when they arrive dun sa Boracay and nakabook sila sa non-compliant hotels, we warn them that we will not be allowing them to open yung hotel na yan. Meron naman din na tinayo ang DOT doon na parang counter or parang table doon that in case wala silang hotel, they can be assisted by the DOT to look for compliant hotels. But para naman medyo maayos din, ang suggestion ng DOT din, before going to Boracay, maybe look for booking only in compliant hotels because based on interagency requirement, we will not be allowing hotels to operate unless they comply with the requirements of the DILG, DNR, and the DOT.
So kapag may last point, scenario, okay, nag-book ako doon sa accredited hotel, pero upon booking naman sa airline, fully booked na. Nag-down ako, nagbayad na ako doon sa hotel. So paano yun?
Usually, ang ginagawa natin dyan, it's very critical that malaman din ng publiko yung carrying capacity result. Based on sa carrying capacity result natin, yung monthly arrival ng tourist, may mga peak months lang kasi, February, April, and May. So siguro, ang suggestion natin dyan sa public, they should be at least looking those months na hindi naman, yung mga lean months lang. Para naman, kasi kung magkasabay-sabay sa peak months, talagang mauubusan ka ng airlines, mauubusan ka rin ng hotels. Kaya nga, ito yung maganda rin yung result ng carrying capacity because this can guide the tourists and the visitors when they should plan their visit to Boracay Island.
Okay, last two, Celerina Del Lanesca.
Several questions po. As DOTR, what will happen to those drivers who will be displaced if there are any drivers who would be displaced? How many, if ever, and what will happen also to the tricycles, to the habal-habal?
Actually, there will be no displacement of tricycle drivers. The existing number of tricycles in Boracay is 500. So we're maintaining the existing number of tricycles. We're just replacing the units to electric tricycles. And in fact, we'll be adding more drivers. The 50 units will be requiring more drivers, 50 units of the jeeps. So in fact, there will be additional employment for everybody. Aside from drivers, the operator will need fleet management operators, maintenance operators. So there will be more jobs for everyone.
So what will happen to the old habal-habal?
Yung habal-habal, we will remove the habal-habal because it's not allowed.
I-junk na sila or what?
Hindi.
Kasi they will not be given any franchise or permit to operate.
Yung habal-habal, yung single motorcycle, hindi yan
How about
allowed.
the tricycles also?
The old tricycles that are not compliant, no, they will be shifted to another place, to the main island. Yun yung agreement.
So outside Boracay na.
Yes.
Okay. Regarding naman po sa DNR, sir, so far 8 hectares pa lang yung na-identify na mapapamigay. Ano yung target na if ever na i-distribute? Tataas pa ba yun?
Palagi ko, yun na yung pinaka... We started with 150 hectares and then based on the evaluation bumaba. The final figure now as submitted by the DNR and DAR is about 7.8 or 7 hectares. Less than 8 hectares. Ito na i-turn over na ng DNR sa DAR and the DAR now is studying and evaluating the area on the feasibility of making this an agriculture area. Kasi ang mangyayari dyan, if we will distribute yung ganong kalaking hectares sa individual families, baka maliliit na lang makuha nila. So hindi na magiging parang residential na siya instead of agricultural area. So ito ngayon yung tinututukan ng DAR. And perhaps, sabi nga, siguro before Christmas, the DAR can already resolve how to distribute these lands.
So, sir, these 8 hectares will be distributed among the 31 families lang.
Yeah.
Wala nang other recipients.
Yeah. Because these are identified as the mga original talaga. Ito yung mga IPs natin. And that is the part of the directive of the President.
That is how many % of the total land area of Boracay yung i-distribute?
Maliit lang. Kasi yung agricultural land based on sa Proclamation 1064 is about mga 600 hectares lang. 600 hectares yung A&D, agricultural A&D. So out of the 600 hectares, mga 8 lang talaga yung possible na pwedeng distribute.
Last, as a DILG po, sir. Sir, you have mentioned that there are other areas na you're checking kung if they are compliant already with the local laws. May we know if you are expecting any closure of any other tourist destination after Boracay? May inaay na ba kayo?
Well, medyo mabigat na decision yan. That will have to be in coordination with the barangay, with the Boracay Interagency Task Force, no? Kasi ito na yung parang working group dyan sa mga ibang lugar na yan. And of course, that would also require presidential approval. So as of now, we really don't have any plans of shutting down any other beach destination in the country.
Pero alin yung critical so far na tinitingnan ninyo na kailangang tutukan right now?
Well, in our discussions with DOT, we would like to take a look at Coron and El Nido because we have been receiving reports of also some problems in those areas.
Okay, last question na tayo, Joseph. I'm sorry, Joseph.
DOTR. Sir, tuloy ba yung top? Last time we were there in top card, tuloy yun, hindi ba?
Yes, it will push through.
Okay. Sige, sir. Anybody can answer. Water quality, sir. Can we have the latest test results?
Yes, we have. Yung ating based sa water quality sampling na ginawa natin sa front beach, ito yung papaliguan sana, we can safely say that they are already within the standard of Class SB of the DNR, meaning it is already safe for swimming.
And the figure is?
Maybe I can give you
na lang,
later.
sir. Sa Bulabog part, sir.
Sa Bulabog, dun medyo may konting problem pa. Kaya nga, we will not be allowing tourists to, doon, muna. Dahil medyo may problema pa yung, doon, yung water quality doon.
Will not allow what specifically? Because that's a water activity site.
Any sports activity or swimming pa muna doon. Doon lang kami concentrate sa front beach muna.
No, even if you open on the 26th.
Front beach lang.
Pa yan.
Front beach and Puka Beach.
Okay. Sir, some clarification. Meron yatang PCO yung pollution control officers na nanghuli ng mga, hindi man nanghuli, o nagpapasan ng sasaway ng mga frisbee players, and the locals didn't like it. Kasi parang, that's discrimination. I mean, the kids have been there for the longest time, and sinasaway siya. Ano talaga yung policy?
Ano yung PCO again? Come again?
Pollution
Control
Officers.
Officer. Yeah. Usually, sa guidelines ng DNR, ang pollution control officers, wala naman silang enforcement at magbawal. Ang PCO is required under our guidelines sa DNR to make sure that the establishment or hotels will be complying with our environmental regulations. Like for example, they should be complying with the requirements of the Clean Air Act, clean water, solid waste management.
No,
but for we'll check kasi kung hindi naman sila dapat yun. Dapat dun yung mga siguro mga patrollers dun siguro or citizens. Pero yung PCO, I don't think they have the right to.
Pero bawal ba yung frisbee?
What is in our guidelines, correct me if I'm wrong, second. Ang bawal doon yung mga sports activities, because there will be no partying there, and then there will be no sandcastle making, but then yung mga simple mga laro-laro naman siguro, hindi naman siguro bawal yun.
Okay.
Lalo na kung kids ang mag-ano. For as long as we cannot really.
Competitive athletes, frisbee.
Frisbee parang hindi natin na-discuss yun.
So,
palagi ka wala naman sigurong wala mo naman sama naman doon. For as long as we cannot hurt anybody. Hindi naman.
So,
baka makatama ka di.
So, pwede yan, sir.
Pwede
yung
naman,
mga
sir.
dogs,
Yung.
you've seen the video, no?
Alelen.
Yung mga dogs na hinuhuli. Kasi sa
bawal na po yun.
Yung mga
Based on regulations sa last interagency meeting, mga pets, mga dogs will no longer be allowed roaming the front beach.
Kahit magpa-picture lang?
Yun ang sabi eh. Kasi nga, medyo, yun ang nasa guidelines. Bawal yung mga roaming na pets doon.
Last na lang ate, sorry. Status ng circumferential route. Pagdating ba na, pag open, sir, sa Kagban na tayo or dun sa front beach ang baba ng mga tourist?
On October 26, we will be unveiling the Kagban Port. It will be a different facade. It's a new facade. Unlike prior to the closure, makikita kagad natin yung Petron, yung police stations. But these structures were already removed, and it will be a beautiful place. Having ng DOTR, organized na yung mga mga vehicles natin doon. There will be a separate line for residents, visitors, and cargos. And then, hindi na magulo yung daan doon. Maganda. It will be a surprise from the interagency.
Status search ng circumferential road.
Yung circumferential road, medyo pinakita ng dito OTR kanina, medyo hindi pa. Ang natatapos lang natin siguro yung from Cagban to Cagban Port to U Hotel, about 60% ng ano niyan. And then from U Hotel to Elizalde property, about 60% din. Tapos yung sa Bulabog portion, may mga 80% na yung tapos yan.
But sir, from what you should be doing, ilang percentage ng circumferential road? Because you mentioned 60, 80.
Siguro
but the whole project?
Siguro mga nasa, I can say na, based on sa latest time, mga about 70% na yan. 70. Yeah. But the DPWH, based on the last, I heard interview of Secretary Villar, they can finish the road within the end of the year. By the end of the year.
Okay, Lanesca, last questions.
Sir, do you confirm that cabinet secretaries asked the president to ask the PAGCOR to revoke the licenses of all casino business in Boracay, even those which are already operating prior to the closure?
Based on the latest reports, the three secretaries, namely Secretary Simato as chair of the Boracay Interagency Task Force, Secretary Anyo of the DILG, and Secretary Berna of the OT, had already written PAGCOR requesting the cancellation or revocation of the license na i-issue nila. Ang latest update, may mga existing casinos that have already submitted yung certification that they will not operate yung kanilang casino. Pero may mga hinihintay pa rin yung DOT para dun sa submission ng mga ibang existing casinos kung mag-ooperate pa sila. But the stand of the interagency to ban casino is consistent with the pronouncement of the President that there will be no casino in Boracay Island.
Okay, thank you, Len.
Sir, last na lang, sir. Kasi prior to the closure, it has been reported many times that 36,000 jobs will be affected with the closure of the island for 6 months. So, what happened to these jobs? Are these restored by October 26? How many jobs are there at the moment? Can you provide us update?
Ganito kasi yung profile sa Boracay Island based on the carrying capacity result. Yung population sa Boracay should only be 54,000. But based on the study, it exceeded to 70,000 individuals sa Boracay Island. Sumobra na siya. Yung sobra niyan consists of at least 22,000 stay-in workers, 13,000 na residents, about 16,000 ng mga migrant workers. So sinatanong mo sa amin kung may mga workers na displaced. Palagi ko meron ding madi-displaced because most of these workers were employed dun sa mga hotels na not compliant. So, ang magtatrabaho lang talaga siguro, ang tingin namin, yung mga compliant hotels lang. Because those non-compliant hotels will not operate, so they cannot really hire yung mga dati nilang mga tauhan. But ang assurance dyan, if the hotels can comply with the requirements of the three agencies, and then they will have at least authority to rehire these mga workers nila. But for the meantime, kung wala naman silang trabaho doon, wala naman na magagawa doon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lanesca. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo.
Thank you. Thank you. We will, we're going to let you know if we're going to have a Thursday news briefing. Paano kung bigla akong down? But we will let you know.
Okay.
The night before.
Okay, thank you, Spokesperson Salvador Panelo. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network. Thank you, sirs.